Good morning to all. Welcome to my channel Chemistry Made Easy. Well, myself Dr. Rajeshwari HV. In the previous video, that is EMF part 1, I had explained electrode potential, electromotive force and the derivation of Nernst equation. In this video, I am going to discuss liquid junction potential and the functions of a salt bridge. This is the construction of the galvanic cell. So, well, we have already understood the construction of galvanic cell from the previous video. So, I am going to recollect a few important points. Zinc dipped in ZnS44 acts like anode here because its reduction potential is minus 0.76 volts. It easily undergoes oxidation because reduction potential is more negative. Zinc loses electrons. Copper dipped in copper sulphate acts like cathode because its reduction potential is plus 0.34 volts. Reduction potential positive means it easily undergoes reduction. Cu2 plus accepts electrons and get deposited as copper atom on the cathode. If you add the half cell reaction, these two half cell reactions will get the net cell reaction or overall cell reaction, which involves the simultaneous reduction and oxidation reaction. So, here anode and cathode are connected internally through voltmeter and externally through the salt bridge. So, remember, if you do not connect anode and cathode externally through the salt bridge, electrons will not flow from anode to cathode. So, let us understand what is the role of the salt bridge. So, before we understand the role and functioning of the salt bridge, let us know what is a liquid junction potential. So, when you take any piece of metal, a piece of metal contains positive metal kernels immersed in the sea of electrons. So, we can compare it with a watermelon. The pulpy part is the electrons, whereas the seeds are the metal kernels. So, when any metal, let us take zinc as an example. Since zinc has negative reduction potential, remember, when zinc dipped in ZnS44 solution, it easily undergoes oxidation. Zinc loses electrons and Zn2 plus ions from the metal enter into the solution, leaving behind the electrons on the metal. What will be the charge on the metal? It is negative. When the metal has negative charge, definitely it will attract the oppositely charged ions present in the solution, and this results in the formation of an electrical double layer across the metal and solution interface, and this double layer is also known as Helmholtz electrical double layer, and this double layer will possess some potential energy, and this energy itself is known as liquid junction potential. This potential itself is known as liquid junction potential. Similarly, when copper dipped in copper sulphate solution, copper has positive reduction potential. It easily undergoes reduction. So, Cu2 plus present in the solution will get deposited on the metal by accepting electron as copper atoms. So, what will be the charge on the metal? Plus, because Cu2 plus positive ions are getting deposited on the metal. So, metal gains plus charge. It will attract the oppositely charged ions present in the solution. Again, this results in the formation of an electrical double layer across the metal solution interface, and this double layer possesses some potential, and this potential is known as liquid junction potential. Now, hope you understood the liquid junction potential. So, let us define what is liquid junction potential. When the metal is dipped in the solution of its own salt, an electrical double layer is produced between the metal and solution interface, which results in the development of potential difference at the boundary. This is called liquid junction potential or diffusion potential, and the double layer, electrical double layer established is also known as Helmholtz electrical double layer. So, this is the probable question asked in the examination. Define liquid junction potential or define Helmholtz electrical double layer. So, with this, let us understand what is the role of the salt bridge and how to construct a salt bridge. To construct salt bridge, an inert electrolytes like KCl, KNO3 or ammonium chloride, the saturated solution of these electrolytes, any one of the electrolyte, is mixed with agar-agar, a semi-solid paste is prepared and this is inserted into the U-tube. So, this is U-tube. This is how we construct the salt bridge. When the salt bridge is not connected, when the anode and cathode are externally, if it is not connected through the salt bridge, remember electrons will not flow from anode to cathode and the potential is not developed. So, because when zinc is dipped in ZnSO4, I told you before, so zinc loses electrons and the metal acquires negative charge and this will attract the oppositely charged ions present in the solution. So, there is development of double layer. And in case of copper, the Cu2 plus ions will get deposited on the copper and metal acquires positive charge. This will attract the oppositely charged ions present in the solution. Again, there is formation of the double layer. Now, at equilibrium, the number of positive and negative charges will be equal. So, because of this electrical neutrality, electrons will not flow from anode to cathode. So, to remove this electrical neutrality, what is called as liquid junction potential. So, salt bridge will come to the aid or the help. Since salt bridge contains the salt KCl, inert electrolyte. So, why KCl is taken as inert electrolyte? Because KCl does not interfere with the net cell reaction or it will not chemically react with the electrolyte, and same in case of ammonium chloride and the KNO3 salt, any one of the salt can be taken here. And I am taking KCl as an example. Since KCl dissociates to give K plus and Cl minus and atomic number of K plus potassium is 19, if it loses one electron it becomes 18 and chlorine has atomic number 17, it accepts one electron, the atomic number rises to 18. So, both have the same atomic number. Since both have the same atomic number, they move with the same speed. Now, the Cl minus from the salt bridge will enter into the anode and they will react with the Cl minus from the salt bridge will enter into the anode and it will combine with the positive ions. They will remove all the positive ions. By this way, the electrical liquid junction potential is removed. The electrons are now free to move from anode to cathode. And in case of cathode, K plus ions will move into the cathode and they will react with the negative ions present here and positive charge on the copper is freed. So, this is how the liquid junction potential is overcome by the salt bridge. So, when we connect the salt bridge, electrons will flow from anode to cathode and the current will flow from cathode to anode. The flow of electrons and the flow of current is conventional to each other. Now, let us calculate the EMF of the galvanic cell. So, EMF is calculated using the equation E cell is equal to E cathode minus E anode. So, cathode is copper electrode, its potential is plus 0.34 volt. Anode is zinc electrode, its potential is minus 0.76 volts. So, if you add these two, you have 1.1 volt. So, a Daniell cell or a voltaic cell can produce the EMF of 1.1 volts. Now, hope you understood the role of the salt bridge. What is the role of the salt bridge? It will overcome the electrical neutrality or the liquid junction potential. So, salt bridge and its functions, let us review the construction of the salt bridge. The salt bridge is a U-shaped tube where the semi-solid paste of inert electrolyte like saturated solution of KCl, KNO3 and ammonium chloride is mixed with agar-agar and inserted into U-tube. So, these salts are known as inert electrolyte because it does not react chemically with the solution. Then second point is it does not interfere with the net cell reaction. Then what are the functions? It allows the flow of current, then to maintain the electrical neutrality, and it overcomes the liquid junction potential. And fourth one is it prevents the intermixing of the solutions as well as the ions of the two half cells, which may lead to the precipitation reaction. So, with this, these are the important questions asked in the examination. The first question is, what is salt bridge? What is the function of salt bridge? How it is constructed? Then what is a liquid junction potential? How it is overcome? So, give an example for inert electrolyte, why it is used to construct the salt bridge. Thank you.